Welcome back, sis. It's your girl, Miss Toni, and this is week 30 of my 40-year-old pregnancy journey. Thank you so much for joining me. Loving all these new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, though, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to do that right now. I'll give you a second. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm now at the point where I'm seeing my OB doctor every 2 weeks. So once you get to that third trimester, you start to see your doctor more frequently. And I had a great OB appointment. I was able to find out the fundal height of the baby, to find out the heartbeat of the baby, which is about 140 right now. And also just to update my doctor on my progress and symptoms and everything that I'm experiencing at week 30. So now the baby is the size of a head of cabbage. That's about 16 inches long and 3¼ pounds. My doctor said the baby is likely in a head down position already, which I was surprised because she said it is a bit early for the baby to be head down. Although between now and delivery, they can flip flop all over the place and still move in different positions. Even at the size of the baby, they have plenty of room still. Even though mama's starting to feel tight, they still have plenty of room to move around. And so she said either that's a hard bottom or that's the baby's head down here that I feel. And the baby's not too low, but just turned head down. So speaking of heads, I told you guys on week 28 when I had my 7-month ultrasound with my perinatologist that the baby's head is in the 80th percentile. So my doctors collaborate. So my OB had my chart and she saw the notes from that doctor. So she brought it up and she mentioned it. And I was like, yeah, I happened to see it on the screen. And I asked the doctor about it and he told me, baby, this one has a big head. And she said, well, what did you expect? She's the same doctor who delivered my other baby. So she was like, well, what did you expect? And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. And I just saw that big number and now I know. I got another big head baby. So what's the plan? She laughed at me so hard. She was like, the plan? There's no plan. Like, you wait and see, basically. Like, she said, you go about delivery just as you normally would, and we will see if the baby tears you. I was like, that's it? Like, we can't even plan like an episiotomy like I had 2 babies ago? And she said, well, interestingly, ACOG changed their guidelines in 2016. So probably right around the time I had Kennedy, the guidelines were changing. And now they don't recommend episiotomies routinely. So they want that to be more of a last resort. So she's like, so no, we can't just plan an episiotomy. Like, just because we know your baby's head's big, we have to wait and see. So I said, so you're telling me the plan is for me to tear again? She was like, more than likely, yes, because you have that scar tissue from the previous 2 babies, and scar tissue tears more easily than normal tissue. So yeah, more than likely you're going to tear again. So I was like, oh, I called my mama like, Lord. So my mom was asking, how did you feel after the episiotomy versus how you felt after you tore naturally? And to be honest, as far as recovery, they were about the same. I mean, I felt like it took a couple months for the pain to go away and for your stitches to fully dissolve, and just the whole process. You're not like in enduring pain 24/7. I mean, you got your good drugs and you have your whole process that you have to go through every time you go to the bathroom. Every time. You've got Tufts cooling pads, you've got cooling gels. People have sent me like the freezer coolers that you can put in your underwear. Like, you have all that good stuff. And in addition to the pain relievers, you don't actually feel like you're in pain 24/7. It's when sometimes if you sit down wrong, like if you're sitting on a couch or a chair, especially a chair because they're hard, if you just sit down flat, straight down, you might be reminded that you have stitches and that you got to be more careful. And so the doctors will recommend that you sit on a donut. But then there's 2 different recommendations, because there's some doctors who will say, go ahead and get those soft donuts and sit on that for a while after you deliver. And then there's other doctors who will say, well, if you sit on a donut and you sit on it for too long, then your body will spread both ways. So then you're spreading apart from the stitches. and they actually recommend against using donuts. So in the beginning, I do it just because you need that softness. Like you need it. When I'm in the bed, I'm totally fine. But when I'm sitting, if I'm on a couch, like I mentioned, on a couch or a chair, then I definitely use a donut. But then after a while, you become cognizant of it. You remember, like, okay, before I sit down, let me make sure I sit down maybe one cheek and then the next cheek instead of just sitting down flat. So anyway, I guess I'm just getting my mind right now, knowing that there is no plan, and that will more than likely happen again. She really hurt my feelings with that. I was like, oh, what? But she said, well, look on the brighter side, you know, your baby's gonna be smart. That's what they always tell you. Pediatrician tell you the same thing. The babies with the bigger heads are the smarter babies. And she's like, and you can't blame your genes. It's your husband's genes. And I was like, well, what do you mean? She said, usually bigger heads that's from the father's side. So she was like, tell Calvin it's all his fault. So I was like, okay, at least I can have a scapegoat. So since there is no plan, according to my OB, I just was Googling some different ideas, and I found some information that I actually found when I was about to give birth the first time. And it just reminded me, everybody, all my ladies know about Kegels, doing Kegel exercises. So just being able to strengthen that whole perineal area, you can start to do those around this time. So around 7 months of pregnancy. You want to go ahead and start doing those regularly anyway. And then there's perineal massages that you can do too. Again, especially for someone who has a little bit of scar tissue from the previous episiotomy or from the previous time that you tore giving birth in that area. So you can just start to massage the area just to try to loosen up some of that scar tissue and to make it so that your body can get prepared to stretch again as much as possible. If you can stretch and get that baby's head out, you cannot tear. Like, this doesn't happen to every woman. It just happened to me both times, and a lot of women I know, but it doesn't happen in every pregnancy. You know, if you have a child's head that's in the normal range, and depending on your body, your makeup, you're able to go ahead and push a baby out without having to deal with this stress. So kudos to you. Week 30 for me was also Mother's Day week. So my loving husband, for the past couple years, we didn't do it last year because of COVID, but the year previously, he surprised me with a beautiful suite in Beverly Hills at a hotel. And he did the same thing again this year. So it's a nice getaway because it's just me. No kids, no hubby, like nobody. None of my homegirls. Like, this is my time, and it was marvelous. So here's a couple pictures that I want to share. They're on my Instagram too. So if you're not following me, make sure you are. I'm at official Miss Toni, as you can see on Instagram. So you can see all my lovely fun photos. I think it's very important to emphasize the need to take care of yourself, especially when you're coming down the home stretch in your third trimester. You don't have to be bedridden if your doctor isn't telling you to, but you definitely want to make sure that you're giving your body relief when you can, de-stressing when you can. And so being able to go to a spa and just relax at a hotel and take a little dip in the pool, because the pool is just opened up in LA. That was a lot of fun. And so I really enjoyed that time. And again, I recommend it. Relax, relate, release. Do what you need to do, because you ain't gonna have no time for yourself once that baby comes. Get it in now, mama. So I can't let you guys leave without seeing my 30-week bump. I just ate too, so I've been having a lot of movement through this whole video, actually. So hard right after you eat. So solid. And then other times of the day is super soft. Right now it's rock hard. But yeah, baby must have fell asleep while I was talking. That's another thing, is they have opposite sleeping behavior. So like when I'm moving throughout the day and I'm busy and I'm active, that's usually when the baby is sleeping. Like my voice must lull the baby to sleep. But then when you're sleeping or you're just chilling, that's when the baby is up and excited and moving. And that's why sometimes a lot of women complain that they can't sleep, because the baby wakes them up in the middle of the night trying to party. This baby actually is pretty cool at night. I don't have times where I wake up because the baby's moving. I do have times where I wake up because I'm having Braxton Hicks. And I had a couple last night. And again, it just wakes me up in the middle of the night, and I try to get comfortable. I try to change positions. I try to drink some water. Like, and nothing works because they're contractions. That's your body getting ready for delivery. So I just wait it out, and it doesn't last too long, a couple minutes, and then I can just go back to sleep. So I don't know about you, but I'm like, I need my sleep right now, because I know when that baby comes, I ain't gonna have none for quite a while. I will say my husband is amazing. So he'll get on daddy duty in the middle of the night, helping, especially in the beginning when the baby is right in bed with us. I mean, at that point I'm breastfeeding, and so baby's only waking up because it's hungry. So I'm usually the one at that point who's taking care of the baby, and they're at their every beck and call. But once the baby is getting bigger and around the 6-month mark, when the babies can eat regular food and they're not so much reliant on breast milk, that's when Kelvin kicks in. So he will go, if once we kick the baby, he kicks the baby out of our room. He'll kick the baby out of our bed, out of the bassinet. At that point, that's the trade-off. So, okay, if the baby's not gonna be in our room, which is convenient for me because I can just pull out the boob and get the baby the milk, they can go right back to sleep. But for him, he would rather have more space. He would rather have me. And so he's like, okay, get that baby out of here. And so I'm like, okay. And he has no problem, like at all whatsoever, getting up in the middle of the night and tending to the baby. He already does it. He did it with the other two. He does it now. Cameron, she sleeps through the night completely. Kennedy, for some reason, my 4-year-old, she's been, again, I told y'all in my last video, maybe it's a behavioral thing because she knows there's a baby on the way and she's not going to be the baby anymore. She's 4. She's not a baby, and she knows she's not a baby, and she's already got a younger sibling. But I think, again, it's that psychological part that is telling her there's another one coming, and then some of that attention is going towards that new baby. So for her, she's been getting up in the middle of the night. She just wants a cup of milk, and she wants her daddy. So this is not a mommy thing. She wants her daddy, and she wants him to put her back in the bed and tuck her in. And so it's been a lot because, of course, it wakes me and Kelvin up. But again, Kelvin, he don't play. So he will get up. He's like, I don't want her in my bed. So, because I'll be like, okay, just let her get in. Let's go back to sleep. Like, I'm always like, let's just go back to sleep. But he's like, no, she's not getting in our bed. She's 4. She's a big girl. She has her own bed, her own bedroom. She needs to go back. And so he'll immediately wake up, go do what she wants. I'm like, you're doing what she wants. She wants you to tuck her in, and you're doing exactly what she wants. So she's not going to stop. But he would much rather tend to her and do what she wants at this point, hoping that this is just a season and that it's just temporary. I don't know. I hope it's temporary. But once this baby comes, we will see. So that's it for week 30 of my 40-year-old pregnancy journey. Thank you so much for joining me. Next week, I'll have more updates for you. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe now. Follow me on IG and I will follow you back. Just holler at me. Let me know that you found me on YouTube and that you're one of my subscribers so I know who you are. Thanks, sis. Good to see you. I can't wait to see you next week.